Yo, what's up, guys? Coach Nate with another episode of Steel Strength Radio. My voice is recovering. I've had it gone for about 2.5 weeks, so we're just gonna roll with it. All right, y'all, bear with me talking like this, but I'm gonna read to you the latest blog post that I just wrote, which is 11 ways to give yourself Energizer Bunny energy. So if you want to get that Energizer Bunny If you want to get that Energizer Bunny energy, then pay attention. All right, look, I want to feel better. I'm sick and tired of feeling tired all the time. This is a statement that I have heard hundreds and hundreds of times since I started my personal training career in 2013. It is one of the main reasons that people will start exercising. And look, looking good is great. Being strong is awesome. Being in shape is great, but it doesn't matter one bit if you feel like garbage, if you're tired all the time, okay? So many of us walk through the day like we're half asleep, which is a terrible way to live. And so I'm going to give you 11 ways that you can give yourself that Energizer Bunny energy. Number one, improve your sleep. Look, there's no way around this. Sleep is powerful. We would be silly to not talk about this. Okay, if you don't try to get your sleep dialed in, that's like trying to make an ice cream sundae without the ice cream. It's just a bad idea. Okay, so how do we improve our sleep? There's two ways. First, get more of it. Second, improve the quality of it. So the first one is, it's simple, doesn't necessarily mean it's easy, but you just got to get in bed earlier. You got to spend more time in the bed. Get in bed earlier, get out of bed a little bit later, whatever. Just make sure you're in the bed more so there's more opportunity for you to sleep. Now, I'm not saying you need to be in bed throughout the day, but I just mean at nighttime, spend more time in the bed. The second is we want to improve the quality of the sleep. And so we want to improve both the quantity and the quality. So here are a few tips to improve the quality of your sleep. No screen time 1 to 2 hours before bed. If you're going to use screens, try some blue light blocking glasses. Take an Epsom salt bath at some point during the day. Make sure you exercise during the day. Improved sleep is almost always the first improvement that clients see within days, sometimes even just after their first workout, within days of starting their program with us, okay? So don't sleep in super late or you might have a hard time falling asleep that night. Keep the room temp cool/cold. Make your room as dark as possible and go to bed and wake up around the same time each day. Number two, get plenty of sunlight. The sun is amazing. Just go to the beach and tell me that you don't feel amazing. Go on, I'll wait. Just kidding, I won't wait because number one, I don't have time for you to go to the beach. And second, I especially don't have time for you to tell me that you don't feel great at the beach because you're gonna feel amazing. And a big part of the reason, yes, big part is because you're getting fresh air, you're on vacation, you're eating well, you're resting, all those things help. But I also think a huge part of that is sunlight. So here's my philosophy with sunlight: get as much as you possibly can without getting burnt to a crisp, right? You don't wanna be roasted, but getting that sunlight is so important and such a blessing to your body. Number three, avoid inflammatory foods. So the list of foods that you should avoid is going to be different for you versus somebody else. Everybody's unique in this. But if I could give you a starting point, I would say experiment with eliminating processed foods, processed grains, heavily processed dairy, and any other foods that aren't single ingredient foods. Now, for a more advanced experiment, I would highly encourage you to keep a food journal for several months and start experimenting with different foods, even foods that are considered health foods or superfoods. So I've seen, now of course, most people don't thrive eating Skittles and Oreos. I'm just saying, okay? But there are a lot of people, I've seen various people, and again, it's unique for everybody, but some people are bothered by different vegetables, different fruits. They're bothered if they don't eat organic produce or high quality meat, or they're bothered by nuts and seeds, things like that. So keep that food journal and experiment with different vegetables, nuts, seeds, fruits. See how you do with organic versus non-organic foods. See how you do with different seasonings. See how you feel after eating like processed meats, okay? Experiment with different types of meat and fish, different protein sources. Experiment with dairy, gluten, potatoes, etc., and just see how you tolerate those things. See how they make you feel, because I think you'll be surprised at some of the things that are even considered healthy that bother you, okay? And just to clarify, when I say bother, I just mean anything that makes you foggy, bloated, lethargic. All right. Number 4, get plenty of the right protein, fats, and carbs. So not only do we want to avoid the foods that make us feel bad, but we want to consume plenty of the foods that make us feel amazing. And so this is going to be different for most people, but it's going to be primarily single ingredient foods. Again, you're probably not going to put Oreos and Skittles in this category. What I have found for me personally is if I eat lots of high quality meat, eggs, fruits, and then toss in some fish, some dairy, and some veggies, that's what makes me feel the best. But you can experiment with this for yourself. There's all kinds of things that you can experiment with. But once you find the foods that make you feel good, whether it's a list of 10, 20, 50, 100, whatever, consume mostly those foods. So 80+% of your diet should consist of those foods because you want to feel good. You want to get lots of nutrients and you want to make sure you're feeling your best. Number 5, stay hydrated. Okay, this one is super important, but I'm going to talk about it for a bit because it's something that I think people screw up a lot. There are all these random recommendations, general recommendations. Most of them are they're too general to be applicable to many people, or they're possibly even harmful. So for some reason we have this idea that if drinking some or plenty of water is good, then the more water we consume, the better, which is not true. I repeat, it is not true, okay? You can literally die from drinking too much water, okay? You can drink too much water, it can screw up your electrolyte balance, and it can literally kill you. Now, you're not gonna die from knocking back one too many Aquafinas. I don't even like Aquafina, but anyway, that's a story for another day. But you're not gonna die from knocking back another Aquafina, one extra one. I'm not talking about that, but you should not be consuming an insane amount of water. For example, you hear a lot of people say, hey, you should drink a gallon of water a day. Should some people? Absolutely. Should others? Absolutely not. And I've seen recommendations as much as 1.5 to 2 gallons a day, maybe under extreme circumstances, which we'll get to in a second. That would make sense. But here's the deal. I'm not giving you a specific recommendation in terms of how much to drink, but here's what I would say. God already built into your body 2 things that you need to pay attention to that will tell you if you need water. Number 1 is your urine color. So if you've got crystal clear urine, you're peeing every 30 minutes, then you're drinking too much water, you're not consuming enough salt, or both. All right. On the other hand, if you've got a dark yellow or a brown urine, bro, you need to get some water right now. Knock back a couple of those waters, okay? And, if you're anywhere in between, yellow, light yellow, faint yellow, you're going to the bathroom, maybe every 2 to 3 hours, fantastic. That's where you want to be, okay? So the second thing is thirst. Usually this is pretty simple. If you're thirsty, you should drink. If you're not thirsty, you shouldn't drink, all right? And here's the thing. If you're larger, the bigger you are, the more active you are, and the more you're sweating, the more water you need to consume. Also, if you're sweating a lot, you might want to put a pinch of salt in your water or just salt your food better. Quick note on salt. I think just like with water, your body knows what it needs. And so if if you need more salt, if your body wants more salt, consume it. If it doesn't, don't. All right. All right. The next thing is if you are smaller, you weigh less, you're not as active, you're not sweating as much, then you need less water. It's as simple as that. So, if you're a big person and you're working in the Alabama sun in the middle of summer for 8 hours a day, yeah, you might need 1 to 2 gallons of water, and you might need some electrolytes, some salt, some potassium to stay hydrated. Whereas if you're sitting in an office in the middle of winter and you're 100 pounds, you probably don't need 2 gallons of water. I'm just saying. All right. So that's my little spiel on hydration. Next, do regular exercise. Exercise, yes, it's gonna help you look good naked. That's fantastic. That's a blessing. But it's most importantly, it's gonna make you feel good. It's gonna give you energy. And it's kind of counterintuitive because if you're not working out and you're tired and sluggish all the time, the last thing you feel like doing is exercising. But moderate to rigorous exercising, as long as you don't overdo it, is one of the best things that you can do to boost your energy levels, okay? Because it's gonna give you more energy. It's gonna improve your aerobic capacity, which is gonna give you more energy. It's gonna help you sleep better, which gives you more energy. There's so many things that exercising will do. So, my recommendation, strength train 2 to 4 days a week for 45 minutes. That should do the trick. Number 7, take a walk. So in addition to moderate to rigorous exercise that you should be doing several times a week, you should also just be walking or getting as many steps in as you can per day, just being active. So, getting that blood flow is just fantastic for getting some energy. So if I'm ever feeling tired or mentally slow, I'll take a 5 to 10 minute brisk walk, get some steps in, get that blood pumping, and I'm usually feeling really good and energized. In fact, quick note, some of my very best business ideas have come from me taking family walks or walking my dog. So you should give it a shot. Number 8, take an Epsom salt bath. This is my secret weapon, all right, that, not a lot of people know about, but taking an Epsom salt bath, I do this almost every day, 10 to 15 minutes. I'll sit in a warm Epsom salt bath. And here's what it does for you, okay? It's not about the bath. I like the bath. It's nice. It's relaxing. It's one of the most manly, masculine things that I do is take a daily bath. But anyway, I got no shame in my game. I love my bath game, all right? So here's the deal, though. I won't even get in the bath if there's not Epsom salt. Here's why. Epsom salt is the magic. So Epsom salt contains magnesium, and magnesium is great for a lot of things. By the way, most people are magnesium deficient. Our soils have way less magnesium than they used to. Therefore, our food has a lot less magnesium than we used to. That's a story for another day. But getting that extra magnesium is very helpful. Magnesium plays a lot of roles in the body. It's going to improve your energy levels. It improves your body's response to stress, and it regulates your electrolyte balance. It encourages regular bowel movements. So look, you could supplement with magnesium, but I'm just a huge fan of the Epsom salt bath. All right, number 9, drink coffee. Coffee is delicious. I love coffee. In fact, as soon as I get done with this video, I'm going to make my second cup of the day. All right, but see, I've been following all these tenets. I don't need the coffee because I feel so good. I got so much energy, but I'm about to drink it anyway. It's going to make me feel amazing, and I love the taste. I would drink black coffee all day long if I could, but here's the thing. Coffee can be tricky. If you're getting plenty of sleep, you're eating well, then coffee is like a little energy boost. It's a little supplement of energy. It's fantastic. But it's not a meal replacement. If you're not doing any of the other, 11 things, then if you're not doing 10 other things that aren't drinking coffee, and you're just running on caffeine, you're going to have to pay the bill. You're going to foot the bill at some point. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but eventually you will pay. Your body is not going to be happy about you running on caffeine alone. So I find that coffee tends to work even better. I get a bigger boost from it, a better response from the coffee when I've gotten plenty of sleep, and I'm taking my Epsom salt baths, and I'm drinking plenty of food, and I'm avoiding foods that make me feel bad, and getting exercise and all that stuff. So that's my spiel on coffee. Moderate amounts of coffee will make you feel great. Also, if you hate coffee, I don't know what's wrong with you, but teas, things like that that caffeine can be helpful. Number 10, avoid things that you dislike / stressors. If you spend all day long doing things with people that you don't like, doing things that you don't like, working a job that you hate, spending time in communities that you don't like, that's a pretty crappy way to live. Now, I was just talking with a client yesterday morning about the importance of self-discipline. I think it's important for all of us to do things that we don't feel like doing because they need to be done. I think that kind of responsibility, that kind of self-discipline is important. But at the same time, if your entire life is made up of have-tos instead of get-tos or want-tos, then you should change that. You should, if you can, you should change that as quickly as possible, all right? Avoiding people, situations, jobs, things like that are causing you a major stress, that's gonna be a blessing to avoid that, because here's the thing. To be human is to be physical, but it's to be spiritual. You cannot divorce the two. We are both. We are spirit and we are body. And so we've been talking, the first 9 things have been all about the body. But you have to address the person, okay? The spirit. And so here's the thing. Your soul will impact your energy levels, okay? So if even if you're doing all the other things right, you're taking care of your body, but you're in, bad work situation or whatever, it's going to suck the life out of you. And you know this intuitively, you've experienced it, okay? So number 11, just like we avoid, foods that make us feel bad, we want to avoid, not that we can avoid all situations, but we want to not spend our entire life in situations that are draining us. And just like with food, we want to consume foods that energize us, that make us feel good. We want to do things that energize us, okay? Feed your soul. We were made for a relationship with God. We were made for a relationship with people. And we were all given gifts and talents, special, unique gifts and talents that the world around us needs. And I think we will find the most joy and satisfaction when we are in relationship with God, in meaningful relationship with others who we love and who love us back, and when we spend our lives serving those around us, being a blessing to everybody around us. And while I think life is not all about us, it's about blessing others, being a blessing to other people, I do think it's important to make time for recreation. And if we break that down, it means recreation. To do things that you enjoy simply because you enjoy them, because they will restore you, they will energize you, they will recreate you, if you will, so that you can go back into the world and do the things that you are called to do. So again, we're ending with a little sermon here. We started with food, sleep, talked about your potty color and frequency of your potty trips, and now we're ending with a little sermon. But you have to address the full person, the spirit and the body. And if you address those things, you will have that Energizer bunny energy. Let's go!